What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for watching. I had an extremely last-minute opportunity to review the new Tesla Model 3 for you guys. This is my first time experiencing any Tesla, and I'm telling you, this Model 3 is truly one of the most revolutionary cars on the road today, and I'm gonna show you guys why. All right, you guys, so first of all, I just wanna say, super excited that I even have the opportunity to review a Model 3. As you guys know, these cars are like gold, not only to journalists, but to people out there who have already placed an order for one. So I do wanna give a huge shout out to New Image Auto Detailing, located in Fort Worth, Texas. If you guys live in Texas, or if you live in the DFW metroplex, be sure to give them a shout out if you want your car detailed and looking gorgeous like this Model 3. Let them know that Forrest from Forrest Auto Reviews sent you. Ask for Frank or Cody, and they will definitely get your car looking just like this Tesla Model 3, which just had a quartz ceramic coating applied to it, and it looks absolutely stunning. So here's a good look at the car. It is finished off in this beautiful gray color. Now let's start with the front. So the front of the Model 3, now of course, because this is an electric car, you don't have a grille. The only thing you have is this opening right down here, if you guys can see that. Now over here, you do have a little functional duct that kind of helps guide air around the car. So if you guys can see that little pass-through right there, you do have a light here, and you do have full LED lights on here. So the lights on this car look absolutely amazing. They're very, very bright, and of course at night you should have no problem seeing if you live in a more rural area or somewhere that's a little bit more dark. So coming up to the hood, really nice, just super sleek hood, not a lot of creases, not a lot of lines going through it. I do like the headlamp design. It almost looks very alien in a way. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I look at these headlights. I just think of an alien, but it looks so neat. Now coming to the wheels, so this has the Aero wheels. If you guys can see those here, I'll give you a closer look at them. Now I personally like the way the Aero wheels look. Some people think it makes the car look cheap, and I can definitely see that, but the positive is that when you take these wheels off, this is basically like a hubcap, but not in the sense of cheap hubcap. It's literally just meant to help make the car more aerodynamic, but you take those off and you have some really nice multi-spoke black rims, which look pretty cool. So now you do have one of your cameras located here for your autopilot. You guys can see that there. And now the owner has tastefully wrapped all the chrome bits on this vehicle in matte black, and it looks so nice. So coming up to the mirror here, I do like the design on that one. It sticks out pretty far, as you guys can see there. Even the door handles, so you guys can see, are wrapped in that black. And I just love the silhouette of this car. It looks really nice. You definitely have a real slanted rear end on this car. So coming to the back, you can definitely see how much of a slope you have going right there. And then of course, it's going to come up to the trunk, which kind of sort of has like a mini built-in deck lid spoiler, if you can really call it that. It sticks out kind of far. Now here are your lights on the Model 3. Now you do also have your charging port located right underneath there. So you're gonna push that and that'll open for you, or you can go inside the car and open it that way. And of course, since this is electric, you don't have any exhaust or anything down here. All right, you guys, so getting into the Model 3 is very simple. You have two ways to do it. You can either use your phone app, or you can use the card key, which you guys see here. It says Tesla on the back. You're going to have a little bit of information telling you how to do it, if you guys can see that. So it is in a package, so out of respect for the owner, I'm not gonna take it out of this little case, but very simple. You walk up to the door, you're going to come up to the pillar right here, and all you're gonna do is put the card right against that. The car will blink its lights, indicating that it has unlock the vehicle. Then at that point, all you do is come up to the door handle right here. You're gonna push this in, and that'll open it for you. All right, starting off at the door. So you got a pretty good use of materials here. So you're going to have your leather up top, your Alcantara right in the middle, and then more leather towards the bottom. So getting a little bit closer, you guys can really see the detail of that ultra suede Alcantara right here. Coming down, you've got more of your leather, which has a really good quality right there. White stitching is going to run all along the door here, all the way up to your door open button. So you're gonna push that button there to open the door. Down here you have all of your window switches. Cubby space down here is actually pretty good. If you guys can see that, it's pretty deep. Nice opening. Speaker down here. You're gonna have another speaker right up there, and then of course all this soft touch leather right up at the top. So down here you're going to have your Model 3 kick plate, all your pedals over here, all of your seat controls. So you do have your forward back, your back seat adjustment, and then of course your lumbar support right there. Now the leather quality on here is actually pretty good. And coming up, you do have your white contrast stitching on the side. Pretty decent bolstering. But let's go ahead and check out the rest of the interior. All right, so shutting the door on the Model 3. Pretty solid shut, and of course to open it, you're gonna hit that button and it's gonna pop right open. Very nice. Now I have heard people complain about this, but if you've driven any Corvette, you know that it has the exact same system. So looking around the cabin, here's a quick look for you guys. All right, so technically the car is already started up, so there's no need to have a push button or anything like that. The car is already started up. As long as you put the key right down here, that basically turns the car on. So at that point, all I would have to do is put it into drive using this handle here, and then that's pretty much it. So not a ton to go over in the interior, but I am going to give you guys a closer look at some of the detail stuff here. So for example, this wood here. So you have this wood coming here, which it's a nice quality wood, actually feels pretty good. Right behind there, you have your vents. So you have the bottom vent for your air, and then you have another vent right here. And what that's gonna do is when the air comes out, the top air is going to flow out in one giant vent right over here. And the bottom vent is used to basically control the air coming out of the top vent, to basically direct and guide it. So while this one's pushing towards me, the bottom vent's going to push up, and that's going to adjust the air. It's a pretty unique way of using air, but of course everything about Tesla is unique. So I do have this screen pulled up, so if you guys are not familiar with this, and you've probably seen this in a million videos, but this is the screen. It's one center tablet, just kind of tacked on here. It's on here pretty good, really solid, so don't worry about it feeling cheap or anything like that. It's very, very solid on there. And everything is controlled through here. So everything you need to do is here. So when you drive, your speed and everything will be right here, your gear that you're in, miles of range left, which is cool because it's kind of like a little iPhone battery symbol. And of course you can open your trunk, your hood, your charging port, everything like that you would need to adjust. So I have this screen pulled up right here because I have the steering wheel adjusted. So to adjust the steering wheel, I would basically use this to go down, up, and then there is a new update. So you used to be able to use this control over here, but now I can bump it left and right to make it go in and out. So pretty cool, and those controls will change depending on where you are. So for example, if you're in your media, that will control your volume, your previous, next, things like that, and it will change depending on which screen you're in, which is a really cool thing. So coming through here, you do have all of your quick controls, so your mirrors, your power locks, your window locks, your mirror fold in, all of your exterior lights you can control through here. So right now it's on auto. If I click these lights, I can go through here, adjust all my lights, auto high beams. You can name your car, which is pretty cool. So one way to do that is I would click here, and you would actually go here to name your vehicle. And then of course, if you pull down right there, like it just did, that reveals all of your Easter eggs for the car. So you have your cowbell, your Mars, all your Easter eggs you guys have probably seen on tons of Tesla videos before. which is pretty neat. Your display, you can go through there, adjust all of your display stuff, all of your driving settings, your steering settings. You can adjust your regenerative braking, how aggressive you want it basically, all of your autopilot settings, safety and security settings, and then all of your service stuff right here. So it's very simple. You also have your glove box button here. So if I hit that, oops, sorry, glove box, that'll open the glove box so you guys can see there. Now if I go back here, I can also click through and scroll through screens here, which is pretty neat, and I can see all kinds of different things since the car was last charged, and it's just a really cool system. Very easy to get used to. The only thing is, of course, when you're using this while you're driving, I can see how it could be a little inconvenient at times, especially since you control everything through here. So if I come down here, for example, if I wanted to turn on my heated seats, I would push this, and it's already on the maximum setting, and I will say they heat up pretty fast. I literally just turned it on and I can already feel it working. And then of course you have 3 settings there. All of your temperature settings you can adjust right there, so use your little arrows there to adjust that. Your fan settings, so the fan on here is pretty crazy, so I can actually use this to adjust and split the airflow, so I can technically have 1, 2, 3, 4 different vents going on. In a way, it's pretty neat. And then I can also use these two here, and it's super cool. The fan speed at its max is pretty insane. You guys can hear how loud that is. You can see this little thing shaking. It feels like a mini hurricane in here, and it's already cooled off. It's so impressive. And click my seats right here, and I can just click the heated seats through there. So you do have heated seats in the back. As a matter of fact, all 3 seats in the back are heated. That's what I meant to say. And they all have the 3 adjustments, which is pretty cool. And I like the way that you can do that. It's just so unique, it's so different. If I click this right here, I can adjust it to just 1 big vent here, basically. So I can make this 1 big vent by pushing this button, or I can make it 2 vents by pushing that button. Very neat. Everything's very simple. Like I said, once you get used to it, it's a very easy system to use. So coming down here, you do have a little bit of storage space under there, so you can put your phone here. You can hook a cord through here to where it's sticking up, and you can just set your phone right on top of that. If I push this, I do have a really deep area here, so I can actually put like half of my arm in there. It's pretty nuts. Cup holders right here. The armrest is a pretty good size. It's pretty wide, so if I put my arm here, there's definitely space for someone else to put their arm there too. Underneath here, you do have a really nice microfiber cloth, and then a little bit of kind of like whatever this material is, you have that in there, but lined all through here, and it actually goes down here a little bit. You have a little light, if you guys can see there. Storage space is pretty good. Let's set this all back in here. Now coming up, you do have your frameless mirror design. Of course, you are going to have LED lights, or regular lights right up here. My apologies. Your visor. Now the visor does have this weird little magnetic, unique way of opening it, but this literally has like a Sephora light in here. It's pretty crazy. So for all you women that like to do your makeup, that's probably a dream come true. Speaker up here. And that's pretty much it for the front interior, you guys. Like I said, it's very simplistic. So if you like simplicity, this is definitely the car for you. So we'll go ahead and check out the back seat. All right, so coming to the back seat of the Tesla Model 3, I have the front seat set to my driving position. I'm 6 feet tall. So sitting behind myself, I've got a really good amount of knee room. I probably have about 3.5 inches, really good amount of knee room. The feet room is pretty good. It's a little bit on the snug side, so my feet fit under here in a very snug fashion. So as far as headroom goes, I have about 2 inches of headroom, even with my big hair. But the cool thing is you do have this glass pano up here. So the cool thing is that it gives you not only an amazing view of the sky and of the front seat, but it just gives you a little bit extra headroom. The other thing that's pretty cool is if you have a middle passenger, they're not going to have any problem sitting in the middle, not only because the floor is just completely flat, so you have no transmission tunnel, so you don't have a hump you have to straddle in the middle, but you also have a little area underneath the center console that you can stick your feet underneath, which is pretty cool. The armrest here is going to be, of course, leather padded. You do have 2 cup holders here, which is pretty standard stuff. You have 2 USB ports underneath the vents back here, so you can plug up your phone and things like that, your tablets, anything that requires a USB. As far as the storage space in the door goes, you have a really good amount of storage space in the door, so you can obviously fit like a bottle of water and then a little bit more on top of that. The materials back here are pretty much the same as the front, so you have your Alcantara, you have your leather, all your good stuff like that. Another thing I do want to point out is getting in and out was actually pretty easy. Judging by the looks of it, I thought it was going to be a little bit harder, but it actually does a pretty good job as far as ease of getting in and getting out. But that's pretty much it for the back seat. You also have a little hook here, so you can hang your laundry or anything like that on. So we'll go ahead and check out the trunk. All right, so coming to the trunk of the Model 3, so when you open the trunk, it opens very, very high. Now the opening itself is pretty large, so it's very easy to get items in and out of it, just judging by the way it's designed. Now over off to the right, you just have a flat space, but over to the left, you're going to have a really deep cubby that you can put pretty tall items in. Now you do have a space underneath the floorboard because there is no gas tank. You get a really deep cubby area that you can put your charger and other items in as well. Now the seats do fold down, so of course you have your 60-40 split. The seats will fold down and it'll reveal a very impressive amount of storage space in the back. Now because this doesn't have an engine, we're going to open the front trunk, or the frunk as some people like to call it. Very easy to open. You just hit the button in the middle, open it, and then you have a pretty decent amount of storage space in here. Now underneath this little mat, you're not going to have anything located under there, just basically the car itself, so nothing under there. But that's pretty much it as far as storage space goes, so let's go ahead and get this thing out on the road, see how it drives. All right, you guys, so behind the wheel of the new Tesla Model 3. So first thing, the hood is super low. I probably have the best vision right now because there's nothing obstructing my vision right now, so it looks absolutely insane. The seating position is really good. The seats themselves are super comfortable, really, really soft. Got my wife here because she's kind of been wanting one along with me as well. The acceleration, of course, is just so easy, and because it is electric, just the way it gets off the line is so simplistic. Now, of course, because it is electric, you do have regenerative braking. We all know this by now. So if I let off the gas pedal, it'll start to regenerative brake. Now, this will put on your brakes whenever you let off the gas pedal because the regenerative braking is more on the aggressive side. The good thing is if you go to driving here in the controls, I can click low on regenerative braking and it doesn't have such a aggressive stopping force to it. So I do like how you can adjust that. The stalks feel really good. So when I turn, so one thing I do hate is cheap feeling turn signals. This definitely doesn't have that, which is great. So that feels really good. I've already pretty much gotten used to looking here for my speed. It's literally just a glance away. I haven't even turned my head at all. Sorry guys, my driving is terrible. Yeah, I haven't turned my head at all, and I just glance right here and see the speed limit. You guys can probably see it without me even moving my head. So just the field of vision from the GoPro is pretty much the same as what my eyes are seeing. So I can definitely see that. All I have to do is glance to the right, and you know, it's low enough to where I still have such a good view here. So the cool part is, even though I'm looking at this, I feel like I have more of a commanding view right here, and it's really hard to explain. I mean, truly, you will have to drive this car to see what I'm talking about. One cool thing is this screen that I have it on right now. It's showing everything the car is seeing, which is just crazy. So as I'm driving right now, it is showing the car as it's going in and out of the line. So it's showing even how close I'm getting to this line right now. It's pretty cool. And that's the same, that's basically what the cameras are seeing. So when you have it on autopilot, that's what your cameras are seeing right there, which is pretty cool. Now you do have different steering modes basically, so you can change your steering from comfort to standard to sport. So if I click sport, the steering does tighten up a good amount. It has pretty good feel to it. The car itself feels very solid because this is electric. All the batteries are in the middle of the car, so everything's hunkered down really low right in the middle. So if I give it a good left and right, sorry babe, it just feels real controlled. You feel very, very in control when you're driving this car, and you know that's what you want when you're driving any cars. Not, you know, electric cars aside, any car you want that feeling, and it definitely has that. So one thing I do want to talk about is Tesla in general. Now this car and Tesla as a whole gets a lot of hate, which I don't understand, because Tesla, first of all, is an American-made company, and so for all these Americans to be giving Tesla such a hard time, it just boggles my mind that we wouldn't want to support our own company. Another thing that I find interesting, I've been doing reviews for about a year and a half, and one comment I consistently get on almost every video is that cars aren't innovative enough. You know, cars have such generational changes, and some cars even have pretty big changes, but at the end of the day they all pretty much feel the same. They all are just an evolutionary change of, you know, your combustion motor and things like that. So a company that is nothing but innovation like Tesla, it's just crazy that people are treating it the complete opposite. You know, people ask for all this stuff and they finally get it, and then it's just not in the way that they wanted it. So because of that, they hate it, and it's just pretty interesting. Now this car has just the perfect amount of go. So if I give it it's got a good amount of push, and you know, this feels like 100%, this feels like I'm driving a V8, but smoother and better. Anyone who says otherwise has never driven the car, or they refuse to drive the car. That is it. Because if you drive this thing, I 100% guarantee that you will not have a single problem with acceleration. You'll get on it, and it actually just took me by surprise just a little bit. It gives you that small drop in your stomach feeling, which is the best feeling, especially when you're talking about sportier driving vehicles. So once again, if I give it a little bit of gas, or acceleration, because there's no gas, it's so quick and it's so effortless, and you get this weird like electronic like hum and buzz, which is kind of neat. Now a lot of people do complain about the noise, which I do understand. There's no noise, you don't get that visceral experience like you do if you were driving a V8, which is truly the only thing missing. That's really the only thing missing from this experience. But me personally, I would never buy a car based off of sound. So I do understand that that is very important when you're talking about sportier vehicles. But you know, this isn't designed to be a sports car. Neither is the Model S. It's not designed to be a sports car, but the fact that they are extremely sporty is really just icing on the cake. Then you have companies like Jaguar who are actually engineering this augmented sound into the cabin, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know about you guys, but growing up I always just really loved this idea of having like a Tron style vehicle that it was just, you know, they go so fast, you see these trails of light behind them, and they're just all powered by alternative fuel sources. And you know, that fiction is now slowly becoming a reality, and there's so many people that are embracing it, but there's so many people that are of course against it. But bottom line, and the whole point of me going on this big ramble, is that, you know, for all the hate that Tesla gets, you really have to show them some respect, because they are pioneering some of the most advanced technology on the market. So yes, it's not reliable, or as reliable as, let's say, a Toyota. I'm not saying that it's not reliable, but it's not going to have the reputation as a Toyota, because this is like new generation technology. This is, you know, all this is still new, and Tesla's still pioneering a lot of stuff. So to expect it to be that would truly just be foolish. But that's why Tesla offers you a 100,000 mile battery warranty. That's a better warranty than you get on any Toyota. And it's just, you know, there's all these things that they're doing so well to combat these things that people complain about, but people love to complain. That's just how they are. But this is a fantastic car from where I'm sitting. I've driven a lot of cars in the past year of me doing this, and coming from someone who isn't such a big car reviewer, coming from someone who doesn't have anything to lose, I think this is one of the best cars I have driven to date. It hits all the cool factors, it hits all the innovation, it's got the power like you're driving a sports car, but you have practicality in so many more ways because it is electric. I'd totally be willing to just pay for an extended warranty on this vehicle if I'm being 100% honest. And that instant torque is so addicting, it really is. Alright, here we go. This thing will move and it corners so well. Oh man. The good thing about the regenerative braking is when you need to slow down pretty quick, it will definitely help aid in doing that. Alright, so let's check out this turning radius, shall we? So there's a car coming. Here we go. Pretty good, pretty good. Well, let's catch up to him. Oh man, this, I could get used to this very, very easily. Very easily. And I could get used to not having sound. I mean, I really, really could. And in all honesty, you know, the only reason I would want sound is if I got a car that I wanted people to just know that I was there. If I got a Mustang and I wanted people to know I just bought me a Mustang, then of course I want it loud. And if I'm a beast at shifting through gears and I just don't want to give up my motor and everything, like, I totally understand. I love gas-powered cars, I love V8s, I love sound, I love shifting through my own gears. But at the same time, I really wouldn't have a big problem giving it up, because it's not like I have anything to gain from showing someone how quickly I can shift through my gears or how loud my car is. I love innovation. That's the one thing I love about the automotive industry is just the new technology, and this has it. This really does. But thank you guys for watching. I really hope y'all enjoyed this review. This was kind of sporadic, so I do apologize if it wasn't as in-depth as I wanted it to be. I was presented this opportunity and I took it immediately. So thank you guys once again for watching. If you're new to the channel, you guys can click over to the left, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. And you can also click to the right to check out some more of my other reviews. But thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all take care. Bye.